Welcome to Meet the Experts with Mike Vilardi. Join us each week as we bring you expert opinions on different subjects ranging from medical to political and community to economy. We answer all of your questions live. Have a question? Call into the show at 888-994-4995, Studio A. And now to Mike.
Welcome to tonight's show. We got a great show tonight. We're going to be exploring the oceans with Marine Captain Paul Kalapodas.
Yeah,
he has been this man who I'm going to introduce. Paul, welcome to the show. Let me introduce you right now. It's a pleasure to have
Mike.
you.
Yeah, likewise.
And we want you to call in for questions. Paul has been a cruise ship captain, yacht captain, all over the world. He knows more about sailing than anybody that I know. And just tell us about yourself, what you've done, and introduce yourself to tonight's audience.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I'm a Maritime Academy graduate, originally out of New York. That's where my profession started at in 2001. And after graduating, I worked with Navy ships in Norfolk up through 2004. And then in around 2009, I decided to go with cruise ships and passenger vessels. So then I was a navigation officer with Celebrity Cruises from 2009 through about 2012. And then I came to Florida and in beautiful sunny Fort Lauderdale. And I got into yachts and yachting, and my first captain job on a 100-foot yacht in Fort Lauderdale. So I've been busy. It was quite a different profession, and I've seen it's quite a different sector. So I've been mostly captaining and managing yachts and vessels here local in South Florida.
What is the pros and cons of being a yacht captain?
Good question. I'm asked that often. That's actually the first question in consideration for yachting. It's actually a con is it's actually quite diverse than what you would normally think of shipping. It could be a good in a good note because it's actually you work instead of a corporate or corporation, you work for a private owner or usually management company. But it really depends on the operation of the vessel. If it's a charter, then it's a whole different ball game. It's a lot of factors involved. If it's private, then you work for a private management, company or an owner, and it's I would say it's really gives you quite a diverse and freedom of time and opportunities that you normally wouldn't get to work on a commercial vessel. So it's you get you have a lot of benefits, a lot of perks working on a private yacht. So it's a good experience, and it does. You're not tied down with it.
I know you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're an expert in your field. Right, We know you're great at it. Right. Tell us this. To technology, I'm starting to see some stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
Like little submarines.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Okay. Right. The technology. Have you noticed a big difference in the technology over the last 5 or 6 years?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. You're right. With yachting, obviously everyone wants to have the latest and greatest with these boats, and with sometimes money is no object, but being a luxury vessel, you want to have. It's also for safety. It's not really just a luxury. A lot of these yachts, they do want to have. They have something called FLIR or night vision. That's FLIR stands for forward-looking infrared radar. So it's night vision. That's actually what the Coast Guard and what the government uses. Wow. But that's really top of the line. And now they have color FLIR because infrared is mostly black and white. But now they've got color. So that's one. And talk about amenities like you're talking about. Now they have submarines. Come to think of Triton submarines, which is here local out of they're out of Fort Pierce. They have that's the newest thing. Apparently, some of the yachts, it's not enough. They want to go underwater. Right. They want to go beyond yachting. Right. So now we're talking submarines. So it's yeah.
I seen a video of this new ship where it basically has like a spring where it goes above the waves.
Oh yes.
You don't say, like a shock absorber when it goes above the waves.
Yes.
I mean, so you don't get the feel of the waves. You're actually above the waves.
So absolutely, yeah. They have that new. That's not the newest. There's newer stuff beyond that. Actually, there's something called gyro stabilized. I think Azimuth Yachts is a brand of yachts that does that. They're British built beautiful yachts. They actually have a big gyroscope, about 1,000-pound gyroscope inside the interior of the vessel that spins about 20,000 RPM, and that actually keeps the vessel stable.
Wow.
And that is the latest, and that's something that you don't normally hear of on any other type of vessel other than on a yacht, So
that is
something.
incredible. I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
by the way, if you call in, we encourage you to call in, and Paul's here to answer your questions on yachting. That's why he's here today, because he is an expert in the field. And you don't mind answering questions, I hope, right?
Sure,
If
no,
people
I
call
don't
in?
mind. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, to your paid subscribers,
Right,
maybe we get into some in-depth topics. Yeah, but
Right,
for sure,
exactly.
yeah.
What was it like to be a cruise ship captain?
It's quite different. I like it. It's like nothing else on earth. I think you're on a vessel. Your say is the go. Your call is on the vessel. But there's a lot of it could be very stressful. You're always mindful of not only the itinerary but the safety of the vessel, the passengers. With the clientele, there's usually could be some hiccup or something out of our control. Could be the weather or the logistics or itinerary, where sometimes we have to incorporate or improvise. But overall, it could be quite. It's pretty smooth. It's quite rewarding. But on the flip side, if you want to compare that to yachts, it's very corporate. So. I kind of liked it. It was nice, but you are bound to obviously with what the promulgations of working on a commercial vessel with a company. Obviously, the guests and the passengers that's our first concern, as it should be. And so basically, the mindset with as a cruise ship captain, you always have to keep in mind. Sometimes you have to acquiesce or make changes to the itinerary, but with the guests, with the passengers in mind. With working on a private yacht in comparison, it's more diverse to the effect that you are on behalf of either the owner or the guest who's on board, and whatever they would like, you try to acquiesce, and we make it happen. And I think it's more rewarding on a larger yacht, which I'm captain. I run on, and I manage yachts, and in a way it's more diverse. On the flip side, working with a corporate with a ship or cruise ship, you are the schedule could be demanding, at times. And
Sure.
I've got a house. I live local in South Florida, but sometimes you are bound to you travel and you're gone for months at a time. So. It's almost like being in the Navy. I equate that, and a lot of the folks in the industry, they equate that to being in the Navy, and it very much is. You have to prepare mentally to travel for months at a time, and it sounds glamorous at the first month, first few weeks or first month, but when you realize the work and responsibilities involved, it's you really have to take it seriously, and it's quite a big undertaking, So
No, it's a lot of responsibility. How are the accommodations like on a cruise ship? Do they take care? I mean, are the staff accommodations?
Yeah, they're very comparable to like your upscale, Four Seasons Radisson, and I'm talking for the guests, not just for the guests, but also for the crew and the captain, myself. I mean, it's the newer ships now that they come up with, you have pretty much all the amenities if you're at the Radisson Four Seasons, and that's your room. Obviously, as a crew member, your room may not be as big as what you would normally expect,
right?
As it would be at home. But if you're an officer on a ship or upwards, you do have a comparable space. So the amenities and what comes with the ship is really quite up there. So I'd say it's really up to par with luxury, and the same with a bigger yacht. You work on a 120 foot yacht, and my amenities and also the crew. It's really we have free Wi-Fi on board the vessel with satellite at no cost to you, and we have the best in for service or the quality of what's on the vessel. So I'd say it's really they really make it in mind to think about when you're not home, and this is your home away from home. So they're very mindful of that. So
they take care of you.
Yeah, they take care exactly. Yeah, sure.
So it's a good. How about like just for curiosity, I'm sure you've been caught in storms before.
Oh yes. Right.
What's those procedures? I mean, do they have you
Sure.
divert away from the storm, outside of the storm? Do you go to port?
Yeah. Sure.
How does?
Yeah, absolutely. All of those factors. In essence, there is no a cookie cutter response to that. Really, it's really specific to the situation of the storm and where you are, in relation to that storm, and if it's heading towards you, or if it's most of the time. Good thing with technology, we have the finest in weather routing, weather reporting, and there's even some services out there that they will either even route the weather for you, or what they call weather routing. They'll route your track and itinerary with correspondence with relation to the weather, because obviously with a yacht you're not as
Right.
You're not quite as stable as a big vessel out on the water, but you are very much so. Even up, we can handle about 7 to 8 foot seas, but past you get the 8 foot swells, then it's a kind of different ball game.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
so with
true.
the yacht, we want to ride smooth and almost like being on a lake. You want everything calm and smooth. You don't want stuff moving
Right.
around. So
Right.
so it's very much sometimes with the nice thing with a yacht, we don't have a set schedule. So the best option may be spend an extra day at the dock or in port before we let the storm pass before you head out. And,
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. So yeah.
That makes sense. Where are some of the places that you really enjoyed going, like the Bahamas, or
Sure. Yeah.
what are some of your favorite places?
Yeah, my personal, I like the Eastern Caribbean. That's my preference. I've been there. Also, Southern Caribbean. I've been to Cartagena, Colombia, and also what they call the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. That's southern. Some English and Spanish territories or French territories. And what they call ABC, but it's Bonaire, Aruba, Curacao. When you look at the map, but they're called ABC Islands.
Right, okay.
But when you say it, it's the other way around. But yeah, so I like the Southern Caribbean. I've got an affinity for that. I've been there a few times, and even in Mexico, I've been to Cartagena and Colombia also.
Okay.
And it's I think it's even a cheap plane ticket here from South Florida. So somebody that's land-based, I would consider that for a few days. Enjoy and.
Do you notice any difference with the governments, like when you go to different ports? Are there any different procedures? Do they, certain ones have you?
Sure. Yeah, there are. It's kind of streamlined now. It's not what it used to be 15 years ago. I think after 9/11, it's been really more streamlined, and in a good way. And they do try to acquiesce. Obviously, for us, if you got a U.S. passport, you are kind of, given a pass, and it's just it's more of a green light, easier, streamlined to get there. You're not. They understand that you're there. They don't want to prolong your customs and immigration. But coming from a vessel is actually very easy. It's a lot easier than flying, because usually it's on the first officer who's on behalf of the captain. He submits the paperwork. If it's a big enough vessel, we have like, let's say 20 crew on board, and we're in Colombia, our first port, just leaving U.S. And it makes it. They try to acquiesce. So what they do, and I've noticed on Bahamas and the Virgin Islands also, they will actually have an agent coming from the Customs and Border Patrol to meet the vessel. So they make it as smooth as possible. You didn't hear of this about 15 years ago. So I'd say it's actually quite easy. It's so in essence we within a half hour's time, the guests and passengers, you're freed up, you're ready to go. You can disembark and explore and sightsee, and that's what the idea is, because not so much other than the paperwork involved, but it's so it's actually a lot smoother for a foreign, especially U.S. vessel to come in, and it's pretty easy. So it's not as extensive as it used to be.
Right.
So
that's important. That's just. I'm just waiting for some calls to come in just to ask you some
Sure.
additional questions. But certainly,
Right, yeah. That's great.
oh,
You are. Oh, that's great. Yes. We have a guest here from Aruba. Yes.
All right.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, that's
All right.
wonderful. Yeah.
Your experience in Aruba.
It's very good. I like. Yeah. Yes, definitely Dutch. Dutch colony, and I like it. It's very much I think resonant to the Caribbean. How people are easy and just like in Curacao.
Okay.
So it's I think it's local, coming from a vessel, looking from a maritime perspective. Coming on a.
Well, we're going to be back right after this
good.
commercial. We got to go to a hard break.
Okay.
We'll be back after the commercial.
All right.
Stay
Sounds
tuned.
good.
Thank you.
Text alert! Text alert!
I was receiving letter after letter from the IRS.
I got Mike Vilardi on the phone and I said, Mike, I got a problem.
He took the pressure off my shoulders.
He just made me feel like I had Superman on my side.
Trust me, he's the man to go to.
IRS problems? I'm Mike Vilardi, enrolled agent. I can help. My company, Winning Tax Solutions, has always gotten our clients the best possible results. Visit us at winningtaxsolutions.com or call us today.
This message was brought to you by Warburg Equities and the Cricken Law Trust.
Hi, I'm Adam, an associate with the Cricken Law Trust. We're here to help you process money owed to you through the CARES Act. If your business employed 10 or more people and maintained payroll taxes through the 2021 shutdown, the Cricken Law Trust can help you get your money back. This money is yours, but if you don't apply now, you might lose this opportunity and it'll be gone forever. Contact us now. Go to www.my123erc.com. Now that's www.my123erc.com.
You've been watching Meet the Experts with Mike Vilardi. If you have any questions, call in at 888-994-4995, Studio A. And now, back to the show.
Welcome back. We're back with Paul, and we're going to talk about commercial shipping right now. And tell us about the difference. Tell us about insurance in the
Exactly.
commercial shipping industry, because that has to be something that really plays
Absolutely,
into the
yes.
cost of
Right.
of shipping.
Operations. and
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So yeah, with I also come from a commercial shipping background. I captained vessels in the oil industry here out of Louisiana, or in the west, the western part of the Gulf. So it's and then in yachting, which I'm here in local out of South Florida. Insurance is very much the same. The captain, obviously, you have the ultimate. You've got the grace, being captain, but you are also on behalf of the management and the owners. While on a commercial vessel, it's really on behalf of the management and the companies and management. They kind of draw out the regulatory compliance. Where as a captain in yachting, in a way, it's kind of different. That's why it behooves someone to have some extensive experience in insurance, because as a captain, you are the call and also on behalf of the owner. So the owner, obviously, he's not as knowledgeable and as extensive. He just wants to know, what time you'll arrive in the Bahamas, or how is there docking space when we arrive? That we're going to go to Aruba. So it behooves you as captain to have those factors in place. So in a way, you're kind of holding a little more weight to that, and I think it does link to operational. But once you have a good system in place, either if you have an insurance company, which sometimes I work with, then you do have it makes it more streamlined. So.
Well, have insurance costs gone up a lot with the inflation? I mean, the last 2 years we've had a lot of inflation.
Yeah.
Has that affected the insurance industry?
Yeah, good question. It did a little bit, but not too much. I'd say it's a negligible increase, about 12% from the last 3 years. Let's say before COVID or before 2000. It did go up a small amount, but not as much as other operating costs involved. Like fuel or. Some even docking fees has gone up almost about 30 to 40%.
Wow.
Depending where you go. Yeah, so especially in Bahamas, obviously with the lockdowns and where we were 2 years ago, people are more privy to travel. They're more. They would love to. So the next thing they've been to some places in the States. They want to go to the Bahamas, or they want to go to the Caribbean. So that travel has gone up, and correspondingly, the fees for the boats and vessels has gone up too. Actually, this time of the year in Bahamas, it's quite busy. There's in Bimini, which is the closest port here to Florida. It's sometimes it's pretty tight, even if you can find a spot. You know, we're talking about just a 30 or 40 foot size vessel. They are booked for sometimes 2 weeks in advance.
Wow.
So it is busy. I wouldn't say that these companies capitalize on it, but there definitely is an increase in these fees and charges for docking, and it's usually by the night. It's per night, and it's comparable to about a night's hotel stay. So it's about $120 to $150 a night which is it's not too bad for 40 or 50 foot size vessel.
Right.
So obviously it goes up with the size of the vessel.
Right.
So,
Now, they hook you up with electricity, fresh water, all that stuff?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's
Okay.
customary, and that's included. So yeah, definitely. So if you have a boat, don't look at it. It's not a deterrent. It's definitely the fees are included. Your services, the provisions as they call it, water, fuel, docking, and also medical if you may need. They do have that, and that's all included.
Okay.
At kind of at your cost included all. So that's pretty good.
So that is definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Now you're going back to the technology. I remember they made a couple of movies about some of the. Remember, I forgot the name of the movie, but it's 1950s where that oil tanker split in half.
Oh yes.
And the
right.
Coast Guard sent
Yeah.
they sent out a rescue
Sure.
team, and in November.
Yes. Right.
What safety features? I mean, new technology that they use to
Yeah, also after 1990, also as we may recall in the Oil Pollution Act, that happened after
yes.
the Exxon Valdez in
Right.
Alaska. So
Yes.
obviously that had a big impact for obviously we want to protect the environment, and
right.
and since then there was a new consideration that if the vessel has touched bottom or ran aground, the new concern is you're talking about fuel, where if the fuel tank is ruptured, you're talking about maybe 10,000 gallons of diesel fuel that may get into the environment. So that in itself is also a factor. So as far as technology, yes, there are some things in place with it. I know for one is that they have sensors on the near coastal, because the water oil is lighter than fuel. Oil
Right.
is lighter than water.
Right, okay.
So it'll surface.
Right.
So they do have sensors on the surface of the water that's off the coast, usually off like Alaska or Seattle, and I think off the coast of Florida. So they do sense if there is a difference in viscosity on the oil of the surface on the water. So they do have the technology does play its part in that.
Do they double hull those ships now?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, the most ships are double hull, even your bigger yachts now that are made, and it's not really by regulation. They just want to go the extra safety feature, so they are what is called double hull. So the double, like two sides of wall of the hull that is built with a gap or space in between about 12 inches.
Right.
So, and that's as a safety thing. And so the yacht, in essence, you could touch bottom or rupture, and then it will still float. You will not compromise the compartments. Obviously, with yachting, space is a premium, so that's obviously they want to
Right.
minimize that. But yes, there is double hull, and in tankers and commercial shipping there is a regulation for that. But while in yachting
Okay.
there's not. So
Right.
well, yeah, there
That
is
makes
that.
sense.
Right.
I mean,
Sure. Yeah, it makes sense.
now, I mean, you are a yacht captain. So how would, if somebody's watching this show who's looking for a yacht captain, how would they get in touch with you?
Sure. Yeah, good question. I've got a website. It's real easy. It's marinegroup.info. Instead of .com, it's .info. But the name of my company is Meridan Marine Group. I'm the founder and manager of the LLC. It's a local Florida company. Or I've got a phone number. It's my cell phone is area code 757-637-5433. But my website, marinegroup.info, you can find my services and contact info there. It's a good way to reach me. And also, let's say somebody looking to buy a yacht or getting into, that's a service that we offer also. I'll give you a complimentary, consultation. First, within the hour, if you want to see a yacht, we can look and sit down with, see what works, and Also, a yacht survey. Say somebody has a yacht in mind that I would like to purchase. What should I be looking for on this yacht? Is it a good purchase? It's beautiful. My wife likes it, but I would like to know whether that's a good, suitable yacht. We can provide that survey. It's called a pre-purchase survey, and kind of like a pencil search where we look at things and operational and any points of interest with it, and if it's a something a great running vessel. So we do have a different lines of services with this on the company and my service.
Well, that's tremendous. I mean, I think that's great. So you go through the whole, do an inspection like you do a house.
Right. Absolutely, yeah.
And that makes
We
sense.
can do a quick survey and inspection, sea trial. When you take the yacht out for a test drive, that's called a sea trial.
Right.
We can provide that, and with Mike, I'll give you a heavily discounted rate here with from the show.
Excellent.
And I try to acquiesce with the guests or with the potential clients that I work with. So for me, I've been pretty busy with business, and it's nice to. I like to offer my service to somebody that they're not all that astute in yachting, but they would like to have to buy something, and they're not sure the avenues. And also, I've got a Coast Guard background. I've worked with. I'm also flotilla staff officer with flotilla here in South Florida. So I'm very familiar with vessel regulation and yachting and compliance. So,
Well, Paul, you were a great guest today.
Yeah.
Thank you so
thank
much
you,
for
Mike.
being on the show. It's a pleasure having you.
Great, yeah.
And
Thanks,
I'm glad
Mike.
that
Yeah.
people can get in touch with you if they need you. And like I said, Paul has given us his information. We're going to put it up on the board for you.
Right.
And thank you for watching Meet the Experts. Till
you.
next week.
Thank you for tuning in to Meet the Experts with Mike Vilardi. For more information, contact Mike at 888-994-4995, Studio A. Join us next time for another exciting show.